Good evening. I've got 6:30, so I'll call to order this meeting of the Columbus Common Council. This is our regular meeting, which normally would have been scheduled for Tuesday, April 3rd, but we're having it this evening, which is April 10th. Megan, when you're ready, could you please take the roll?
Hendrickson? Here. Kenny?
Here.
Malat?
Here.
Reed?
Here.
Rule?
Here.
Tome?
Here.
Trexler?
Here.
All present. You have a quorum.
Thank you. If able, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, this meeting has been noticed in accordance with state statutes and local ordinances. The next item then is to approve the agenda. Unless there's any alterations, deletions, or changes, I'll take a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. Any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Agenda is approved. Thank you. Number 5 then is correspondence and communications. We have 3 people signed up this evening. The first person signed up is Paula Steiner from 442 West James Street. Oh, there you are, Paula.
I was going to wait until the
Meeting, the
Did-
second meeting.
Did you want to speak at the committee of the whole, if that's your preference?
It addresses more things there.
Okay.
That's okay.
That sounds fine.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right, on to the second person signed up this evening is Daryl Teskey. Daryl is from the Court-Appointed Special Advocates for Columbia County. He's the countywide director. Welcome, Daryl.
Here, I have one of these for you. Thank you. Hi. So thank you very much. Just very quickly, my name's Daryl Teskey. I am the executive director of Columbia County CASA, which stands for Court-Appointed Special Advocates. Very, very quick representation. What we do is we are a volunteer-powered network of folks that work with kids who are under county protective services for abuse and neglect. So what they call it is a CHIPS petition, Children in Need of Protection or Services. So as part of my role, recruitment and training volunteers, raising awareness, and then also the administrative portions of making sure we're working with the courts in the proper manner, things like that. What I'm here to talk about actually is next Wednesday we are going to be doing the first annual I Am for the Child Day. April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and so we're encouraging folks on April 18th to wear blue. Entailed with that, we have businesses and local folks that are going to be participating. We're using the hashtag CASA Wears Blue Day Wisconsin, or CASA Wears Blue Day WI, which is on the pamphlet there that I left. So with that, if in your normal lives, if your businesses or if you would like to personally participate and show your support, please do that and share it on Facebook or social media. We're going to be collecting them all there. We also have the website columbiacountycasa.org that has information about the day itself. We're really pleased this year. We're going to have 2 events that are going on. The first one is here in Columbus at the Columbus Country Club. It's a joint event with the Columbus Hospital, with the Columbus Rotary, the Columbus Library, and then Columbia County CASA. We're inviting everyone. It's a free luncheon. It's going to be at noon, and we're going to, Luann Reuter from the Columbus Hospital is going to be talking about how they look for signs of child abuse and neglect and how it works as a mandated reporter. We're also going to have some volunteers and talk about the work of CASA, and Regan is going to speak as well. Congresswoman Hendrickson is going to speak as well as a guardian ad litem from her professional side. So we're very excited about that, so please come out. If you do come, please let someone from the Rotary or the library know, or RSVP on the Facebook page. All that information is available. I left some information in the back for everyone that has that event, and then the other event we're doing is a Hands Around the Courthouse in Portage at 4:30 p.m., which is going to be at the current temporary courthouse because they won't be out of there yet, so we're going to do it there on the Mullet Street address. So all of those flyers and things are in the back. If you want more information, my contact information is on there as well. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daryl.
Thank you.
We also had Angela Dykes signed up. Was it your desire to speak at this meeting or the committee of the whole meeting? Committee of the whole meeting. All right. Was there anyone else present this evening that wanted to speak under citizen comment that didn't have the chance to sign up? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to the consent agenda then. We have 3 items on the consent agenda this evening. We have the Cable Commission minutes from February 21st, Police and Fire Commission from March 19th, and the Plan Commission minutes from February 15th. Unless there's any questions on that, I'll take a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Make a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Second.
Motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Any discussion on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Consent agenda is approved. We have no unfinished business this evening, so we move on to new business number 1, which is to consider and take action on a request to increase deposit amounts on the Fireman's Park Pavilion, Rest Haven, and concession stand, sorry. We did review that at the Committee of the Whole previously for those adjustments, and I believe the intent is to bring the deposit amount up so it's equal to the rent, if I'm correct, Amy Jo. Okay. Any questions on that? If there are no questions, I'll entertain a motion from the council.
Make a motion to approve the request by the rec department.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to increase deposit amounts in Fireman's Park Pavilion, Rest Haven, and the concession stand. Any questions on that motion? If none, could we take a roll call on that, please?
Kenny?
Aye.
Reed?
Aye.
Rule?
Aye.
Traxler?
Aye.
Malat?
Aye.
Hendrickson?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Number 2 is consider and take action on request to use unused funds from the Columbus Area Aquatic Center Advisory Committee recommendation. This was discussed at the last Committee of the Whole, and from our understanding, there was the intent to carry over some unused funds from last year's pool budget to get some additional painting work done there this year, but that did not occur during the budget process. So the Pool Advisory Committee is requesting those unused funds to be transferred into the current year's budget to get that work done, and I believe that was the amount of $3,200, if I'm correct. Amy Jo is signifying yes. Any questions on that? Amy Jo is here to answer them. If not, I'll entertain a motion from the council.
I'll make a motion to approve the transfer of the carryover funds.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the transfer of the carryover funds to the Columbus Area Aquatic Center. Any additional questions on that? If none, let's please take a roll call.
Reed?
Aye.
Rule?
Aye.
Traxler?
Aye.
Malat?
Aye.
Hendrickson?
Aye.
Kenny?
Aye.
The motion passes.
Thank you. Number 3 is consider and take action on the preliminary report of special assessments for the 2018 City Street project. We had our public hearing last night for these projects, and the preliminary report has been sent to all affected property owners across those projects. And we did have a few questions last night, but nothing significant. I think those are the questions that were asked are all individual items that Jason can address between now and the end of project, but it would not affect our ability to take action on this item tonight. So if there's any questions, Jason is here. If there are no questions, I would entertain a motion from the council.
Motion to take action on preliminary report for special assessments for the 2018 City Street project.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the preliminary report of special assessments for the 2018 City Street projects. Any further questions on the motion? If none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Number 4, review and confirm downtown planting plan. It's been a little while since we've talked about this. We've had this come across the Committee of the Whole several times. There was kind of an ad hoc group, which I was a part of, and we had discussed the different species of trees, et cetera, that would be appropriate for those downtown areas that were selected to put the trees in, and that information is available in your packet. Any questions? Davis Clark is here, I believe. Yes, he's in the back row. Rod?
Just from personal experience, I have a couple of Cleveland pears. They aren't the calorie, is that how it's pronounced, calorie pear? There might be, I'm not sure. But they have a chance of becoming really god-awful fragrant during flowering, the kind of you'd look at your bottom of your foot to see what you stepped in. And I'm not sure if this would be that kind, but if we're within 2 or 3 feet, it might be problematic.
Davis, did you want to say something about that?
He's correct. That is one of the issues. It doesn't happen all the time, but there is that chance that, that you'll get an odd smelling fragrance from those flowers.
Did you want to strike that tree from the list with that possibility, or turn it into a tourist attraction? Matt?
I would think striking it.
Matt, did you have a question?
Yeah, just to confirm, the ironwood was a no salt tolerance. These are the listed trees that would go not only downtown in the cutouts, but also along the entire corridor, or these are just in the cutout?
These were just the ones that, with the ad hoc we talked about for just the cutouts.
Okay. I guess I would be hesitant to put a non-salt tolerant tree right in downtown where we're going to be slinging salt pretty heavy.
I would agree.
But that's I guess my 2 cents. The rest of them, they're all trees, I guess, to me.
The biggest issue we're going to have is the size of the cutout. It's only 4 feet by 4 feet. Whatever tree goes in there is not going to do as well as if it was in a larger area. I spoke to a lot of the guys from the DNR. This is an awful small planting area. For example, the Amer maple, it's salt tolerant, prefers moist and wet soils, but that's one that they're going to be putting soon on an invasive species list. So a lot of the nurseries won't even be carrying it. Now, in a downtown planting area, it'd be fine. It's not going to spread like it would if it was out on somebody's backyard or something like that. So that's why it's on the list. But again, don't expect these trees to do spectacular because of the area, the small area they're going to be in.
Trina, did you have a question?
Oh, I love that there were photographs and a couple of sentences about each tree. Just wondering how these particular ones were chosen.
Again, I worked with the DNR, and these are trees that in downtown areas, they say will do fairly good. I tried to stay away from maples. In our inventory, we have about 1/3 of our city is maples. So I really tried to stay away from those and tried to keep things that were relatively narrow. You know, the calorie pear, the honey locust, the street keeper honey locust in particular is a very narrow tree, but it's hard to find. So that's kind of how we got to this list.
And when it mentions that the ginkgo are expensive currently, what type of price ratio difference to the other trees?
Probably $150 more for relatively the same size.
But they're
You know,
extremely hardy.
They're hardy for this area, yeah.
Can you remind me how mature you're looking to plant?
I'm trying to get 2-inch diameter or 2.5-inch, so it's fairly substantial.
Sizable.
Yeah.
Rod, did you have any more questions or comments?
Yeah. Martin Luther King Boulevard in Madison, I think they have 4-foot cutouts. They have ginkgo trees there that do fairly well when they aren't hit by a snowplow. When you're saying they won't do great, will they just be stunted?
Correct.
But they'll still have leaves
They'll-
and
oh, yeah, they'll-
everything else.
They should leaf out fine. They just won't live as long as they normally would, and they won't get the size that they normally would.
Which is a good thing, actually.
On some of those spreads, yeah.
Yeah, and when one dies, how hard will that be to get out and put a new one in?
Very easy.
Just dig it out? Okay.
Trina?
probably an unrelated question. Were we looking at any red buds, even in containers, might be a little better for them, they're a little delicate?
The ad hoc committee talked about having containerized trees, but they were looking more towards planting them in those cutouts rather than having a container.
What's the will of the council at this point? Is there certain species that you want to strike off of this as possibilities, or leave it open?
I feel like the ad hoc probably chewed this over pretty well and have kind of dug through it, and I would say I'm a little hesitant on the ironwood since of no salt tolerance for being where it's at, but the rest of them look to be like they'll probably be good trees, and some of them being a little stunted wouldn't be the worst thing because the honey locust gets to be 50 foot wide and its full maturity. It might be a little hard for downtown, so I'm all for going forward and letting Davis kind of at his purview.
This is going to be 8 trees in total, really, so.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Michael, we talked about having basically 2 species, so 4 of one type and 4 of another.
Yeah. Try to
so-
alternate them evenly throughout the corridor.
If council has 2 favorites, then we can kind of go towards those 2 favorites.
Rod?
I would go with the Amur maple and the ginkgo, because one when it's in the fall, one is yellow and one is red. You could polka dot it down or have outside, inside, but those would be my 2 choices.
Which 2 was it?
The ginkgo and the Amur maple.
Number 4 and number 6. Okay. Regan?
I was just going to say I'm partial to lilacs, so I would go with 3 and 4 as my 2.
How about we eliminate 1 and 5?
Yes.
Is it a better route? I mean, it still gives some flexibility, but it's getting rid of
I
that.
don't think we want I don't think we want the bad odor, and we don't want something that's not salt tolerant. So, yeah, I think strike those 2, and then we can chew on 2, 3, 4, and 6.
Okay. Are you all right with that, Trina, or did you have
Oh, I
another
am.
suggestion?
No, I was just leaning towards 3 and 4 also.
Okay. All right. Is the council all right with approving the list with the exemption or the exclusion of number 1 and number 5? We okay with that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Someone want to formulate that into a motion?
Yep. Move to accept the downtown amenity plan, striking options 1 and 5 from the tree list. That's Callery, pear, and ironwood.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the downtown planting plan to include the tree list provided to us with the exclusion of number 1 and number 5. Any further discussion on that? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Davis.
Davis.
Oh, sorry.
If I could, I included in the memo, this was for most of the trees, but with the downtown post-construction issues, I just thought I'd just update you that we are working with Robert still on the railing and anxiously awaiting his design back, so as soon as we get that, we'll bring it back to the council for you.
Okay, thank you, Patrick. All right, on to number 5 then, to convene to closed session per state statutes 19.85 sub 1 sub e, deliberating or negotiating the purchase of public properties, the investment of public funds, or conducting other public business whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require specifically to discuss a revolving loan fund application from Dubs Brew LLC, doing business as Cersei's Brewing Company. We would need a motion and a second to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to go into closed session for the reasons stated. Any questions on the motion? Okay, we'll need to take a roll call to do so.
Rule,
Aye.
Traxler,
Aye.
Malat,
Aye.
Hendrickson,
Aye.
Kenny,
Aye.
Reed.
Aye.
The motion passes.
All right, we'll be going into closed session briefly and returning back into open session hopefully within a few minutes.